if you're 60 years old, odds are that you have about 20 summers left. Let that sink in for a moment. That's 20 family trips, 20 summer barbecues, maybe 20 opportunities to see fireworks with your grandkids. That's not many. How do you make the most of them? As a financial planner, I'm not here to scare you. Quite the opposite, actually. I'm here to help you make the most of those summers, because although money can run out, time, that's what really runs out. And be sure to listen till the end, or I ask you 3 questions that you can ask yourself during those summers to make the most of them. Let's get into it. I'm Elliot Apple, founder and financial planner of Kindness Financial Planning, and whether you're in your 50s, 60s, 70s, or maybe your 80s at this point, I'm here to help you make the most of those summers. I'm going to take the decade-plus experience I have working with clients and what I've seen them do to help you figure out how you can align your money with those ideal summers. So with that, let's get into it. What does a perfect summer mean to you? Is it renting a cabin with your entire family and your kids, and maybe your kids bringing friends and enjoying that for a week or 2 weeks or maybe even longer? Is it a solo trip to Europe, maybe Italy, and enjoying wine and good food in the countryside? Or is it volunteering with your local charity and giving back? Or maybe it's just enjoying the garden that you've built and taking it another step further. Think about it for a moment. Seriously, type it down in the comments down below. What does a perfect summer mean to you? I'd love to hear that. I love hearing how people want to spend their summers and hearing how they can actually make that happen. The problem I run into with a lot of folks is if you don't know what your ideal summer looks like or how you want to spend those 20 summers, it makes it really hard to plan spending-wise on how you're going to do it. Here's a pro tip. I know you're going to put it in the comments down below of how you want to spend the summer, but take a moment, maybe it's a minute or 2 minutes or even longer, to write down a living list, not a bucket list, but a living list. How are you going to actually make the most of those 20 summers left? And how would you design them so you can minimize the regret that you'll have if you don't do XYZ, whatever it is that you're writing it down? Most people think retirement is simply about not running out of money. And though that is important, I'll be the first to admit that I am a financial planner after all, it's also about not running out of memories. It's about actually aligning that money to get to those goals that with how you want to spend your summer. What's the point of dying with millions if you can't die with those memories that you've created? So when you think about your summers, think about using that money to create memories, not additional money. You may have $1 million, $2 million, $5 million, maybe 10 or more saved. But if you have all that money in the bank at the end of life, what is it that you really have? What is it that you got to experience? What did your family get to experience with you? Again, it's about memories, not millions. One of the things that I love about my job is hearing when people actually realize what money can do for them. So whether it's someone telling me, hey, I realized I could take my entire family to Disney World, and though I wouldn't necessarily go to Disney World on my own, it was amazing watching all my kids and grandkids enjoy those memories together. They were spinning around on the rides and enjoying food and running around and seeing the fireworks at night, that they loved this experience. Or maybe it's renting a cabin in Hawaii and taking the entire family there for a moment of relaxation and to get away from the everyday stresses and anxiety of life. I love hearing the different stories about what money can provide and them actually creating those truly lifetime memories that they will remember, and likely their kids and grandkids will remember for the rest of their lives. The key about creating the ideal summer is not waiting for the perfect time. Everybody thinks, I'm going to wait until retirement, or I'm going to wait till 5 years after. I'm going to wait till I have an X number of dollars in my portfolio, and then I will be comfortable doing that. Don't wait. Don't wait for that time period, because the issue is that perfect time period is likely never going to come up. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news there. I've just seen so many people go throughout life and boom, something happens in life that changes their experience. And that perfect opportunity that they were waiting for, it's never going to come. That might be a spouse that was going to wait until retirement to go enjoy a trip traveling around Europe, and then they get diagnosed with cancer and they pass away. Or maybe they get better, but life's not the same anymore. They don't have the same mobility, and those plans of traveling around is maybe a tour bus instead, or a Viking river cruise. And although those can still be really great, it's not what they imagined. So I urge you, don't wait until that perfect opportunity. It's probably never going to come. You have to go out and create the best opportunity that you can to enjoy those 20 summers left. And if you catch this video earlier, maybe it's more than 20 summers that you have left to add on an additional thing that you want to do. Waiting until everything is figured out usually means waiting too long, and I don't want that for you. Here's what I would challenge you to ask yourself every single summer, and maybe this is planning for the following summer, not necessarily this current summer, but it could be for this one. Number one, what do I want to experience this summer? Number two, what am I willing to spend to make that happen? And then number three, what if I had fewer summers left on this planet? What would I regret not doing? And that third one, that's the hard one. It's usually pretty easy to say, hey, I want to do this. I want to take a trip to Europe and I want to enjoy the food in Italy, enjoy all of that. And that's something that I want to experience. That's the easy part, dreaming. Number two, what am I willing to spend? Well, that gets a little bit more challenging sometimes. There's competing priorities. Hey, I want to provide this for my grandkids so they can do this, or I want to have this amount of money left for long-term care, and I'm concerned about that. There's balances, but again, think that there's not a perfect time. So how best can you enjoy that for those summers today? But then number three, what would you regret? It's more of a hypothetical question, a larger than life question that I often love asking people, but it is hard to answer. What would you regret most? What would you not get to enjoy? Who did you not get to be during those summers? So think about that for a moment and maybe write it down, and that will help guide this living list of what do you want to do during those 20 summers that you have left. Now, here's where we're actually going to take the planning from the sort of dream stage of what do I want these 20 summers to look like to how do I actually make this happen from a financial perspective? And I have a few ideas to make this easier. So that way you're not feeling constricted by a budget, if you will, but more of a spending plan that liberates you to actually go enjoy those summers. Number one, create a summer joy bucket, and you can call it whatever you want. Maybe it is called a summer joy bucket, but actually outlining a certain amount of money and putting it into preferably maybe a sub savings account within your bank to say, hey, I have $10,000 that I can spend on this trip, and it's separate from every other line item spending. So you can go out there and freely spend it. It's not part of the overall budget. You're not feeling constricted. It's right there. You're like, hey, if I don't spend this money, it's for that. I'm missing out. I'm going to have that regret of this 1 in 20 summers that I didn't get to do that. So set some money aside regularly, or set it aside right now, pause the video and go ahead and allocate that so you're ready. There's also where you can bring in strategies about how to reduce taxes. So if less money is going to Uncle Sam, more money's in your pocket to actually enjoy those 20 summers. So whether it's using the 0% long-term capital gain strategy, or it's using Roth conversions to minimize taxes over your lifetime, because maybe you're going to face really high required minimum distributions later, and there's a way to smooth out that experience today. Maybe it is making sure that you take withdrawals tax efficiently, that you're not just taking every dollar that you can from your 401k or your IRA, and maybe it's taking some money from a Roth if it's going to bump you in another higher bracket, or it's using some money from a brokerage account. So figuring out how to create a retirement income stream in your retirement is really important, because that way you can minimize taxes while still enjoying this retirement in the 20 summers that you have left. And finally, consider using a withdrawal strategy that front loads some of these experiences. A lot of times people talk about this smiley spending pattern in retirement, where you spend a lot more at the beginning, less throughout, and then a little bit more at the end of life as long-term care and other needs come up. And actually build this into the financial plan that you have. I love doing this for clients where we outline, maybe it's travel. There's an extra $10,000 or $20,000 per year for the first 10 years of retirement. So we actually stress test the plan and say, let's actually include this. Let's include a line item where we are enjoying those summers as much as possible. Because if you think about it, maybe $20,000 on a trip today, that would buy a lot of happiness and really minimize regret. Whereas what does that buy in your 80s or 90s? And I'm not saying to be foolish in your spending here. We want this to fit in line, but think about what those dollars buy today versus in the future. How much are you actually going to enjoy that $20,000 in the future? Could you even travel? Or if you're spending it on a nursing home or care in the house, how much joy is that bringing versus the joy today? I find when working with folks, a lot of times they have more than enough, but they're still afraid to actually go out and enjoy those 20 summers and spend the money. So this is where we're actually going to be intentional about this spending plan and making sure that we allocate dollars on the early side of retirement to make the most of it, because it's probably going to minimize regret and allow you to enjoy that more fully. The goal is not to die with the most amount of money. And I know that sounds really straightforward, and I sort of chuckle just hearing that. And the reason I do is because a lot of people know that, but a lot of the times their actions do not align with that, and they don't go out and fully spend relative to what they could with their investments. So just keep that in mind and try to think about this from regret minimization. How do I regret the least amount throughout my lifetime and enjoy those 20 summers? You don't have to wait until retirement. You don't have to wait till X number of date, X thing happens in your life. Throw that all away for a second. You might have 20 summers left. Maybe more, maybe less. Personally, I hope it's more for you. But what if it is less? What are you going to do to start living today? Drop it in the comments down below. I'd love to hear it. If you enjoyed this message today and it resonated with you, click that like button and subscribe to the channel to be notified of future videos. Thanks for watching. Enjoy.